My Global Mind. We're your home for hard rock and heavy metal. We're in Bloodstock 2019 with Sabaton.
Yeah.
So guys, Pär, Chris, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
We're really looking forward to your set later on today. So I think this is your fourth time playing Bloodstock.
That's correct.
And basically since 2008, you've worked your way up, and this time you're headlining the main stage. How does that feel? Are you looking forward to it?
It feels great. I mean, I remember the first time we played here. We couldn't even afford the flight tickets, so we had to drive the way here. And it took us a whole week to get here and back. And then we played for 25 minutes or 20 minutes at 11 o'clock in the morning, just before girls' school. And but it was still worth it, so much. And ever since then, we've been coming back to England more and more times, constantly coming back with every tour. And every tour a little bit more and more people. And every time we came back here, we could bring a little bit more of our gear every time and do a little bit bigger show. Today, we don't have the limitations anymore.
So will we get your full show? I know you've been doing Wacken, you've been doing Hellfest. Is today full show?
Today is what we set out to do when we were planning for what we're gonna do this summer.
Excellent. Okay, really looking forward to it. What's the highlight of the set? I mean, by the time we release this, it'll be after the show, so you can reveal what the highlight of your set is.
Yeah. I think we went a little bit crazy with what we are doing in the front with these things. We have filled the whole front is so damn loaded with pyrotechnics. We have fitted in as many things as possible,
and we're standing up on them.
That's it's so loaded, the front, where you see from the crowd, from the audience point of view, you see sandbags to represent bunkers and stuff during World War I and trenches. But what you see, if you look on the top of it, you see a damn lot of explosives.
More explosives than World War I, perhaps.
Not really.
Not really, but no, almost.
So yeah, you mentioned World War I, your latest album, The Great War, getting great reception. How does it feel now, a few months on? April was it? Or
no, it was released in July, so
yes.
It's about 1 month now. And it feels absolutely great since the release of it, and the response have been fantastic from journalists and from fans, and it's great to see now things are like starting to form, that we understand which songs are the most popular ones and things like that, because it's very difficult. We have different emotions when we just record an album and we are done in February. We sit there with like, oh, I like this song, I like that song, and people might even be disappointed with some things, like this song didn't turn out the way I wanted it, or these things. But you see after a while you get a little bit of distance to it as an artist as well, so then we start to appreciate the songs.
So when you were in the run-up to the launch of the album, you had the Sabaton History channel, a lot of sort of build-up to the album and everything. Did that work out as well as you thought?
Yeah, I mean, Sabaton History channel, it was a good idea 15 years ago, and it's been growing in our minds for 15 years, and then we launched it. So by now, we had perfected the kind of idea behind it, and finally found the people to make it happen. And I do feel now very proud of it, and when we have launched it.
Oh my God, are you okay with the rain? Can we keep going?
I'm good.
He loves it.
Yeah, I'm good. This guy's okay.
We're okay. Let's see. We go a bit more.
I think it's gonna be.
It's gonna be bad now.
It's gonna go bad. I think.
Do you want to take it inside for a moment?
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
We're gonna move indoors. Okay, we are back. We are in a tent. The rain has come down crazy.
It was insane.
Okay.
Intense.
Okay, so hopefully that rain will pass and it won't happen while you're on stage.
No, hopefully not. Then we feel really sorry for the people.
Okay, so yeah, we were talking about The Great War, the album, and all the preparations you've done with that, with the History channel. So yeah, you have like a Patreon channel as well with subscribers to that, and how has that worked out? Is that successful? It's good. It's not typical for metal bands to work this way,
But there are a lot of people who do creative content online that use this kind of crowdfunding solutions to finance their things. Yeah. Because obviously, if you only see to the YouTube income, and then you're going to produce the Sabaton History channel, which basically employs 10 people. Each person works half time, maybe with this and half time with another project. So it's quite a lot of people involved in doing that, and it would not be possible with just the YouTube stuff. So I'm thankful for the contributions we have on the Patreon, and yeah.
You guys release albums almost every second year. You've got a really, really great production line for your fans, and that's a huge effort, and fans are really thankful and grateful for that. How do you think about bands like Tool, who come out with an album once every decade?
Well, I mean, if it works for them, fine. I mean, I'm not the one to judge them. So
no, I'm the same. I'm not to judge them, but I would have no clue what to do with my time. I would be so uninspired that I would stop playing and do something else. I could do 5 Tool.
Yeah.
And in terms of lyrical content and ideas for future albums, I mean, can you explore maybe some more modern wars, like let's say Afghanistan?
The problem with that is that if it's too modern, it's current, and then it's not history, and we are not doing war, we are doing history.
Okay.
So we need to wait until they have.
How about the other direction? Like Ancient Wars, Troy.
It's
we
interesting.
Did that.
Yeah,
we did Spartans and stuff like that. So yeah.
We went back in time and we did an entire album about Swedish Empire, which was 17th century, and so ancient times is very exciting, very interesting. The problem with it is facts.
Yeah.
We have to rely on myths and legends, which opens up for the listener a lot of their own interpretations, and for us too. So it's not a bad idea. It's exciting to do, and I love going into some of these stories. So it's not an impossible thing, even though we prefer to stay in where there are some proper facts. World War One is the earliest you can go to have kind of good, sort of good documentation about it.
You still have to be careful where you read your history from, though, right? You've got to be careful not to take sides, because different sides will record history different ways.
They would, and our songs sometimes do represent the sides. They have to, but they represent not our side. They represent a side of a story which this is a good story told from this side, and we don't put any our own intentions behind writing it from a certain point of view. We retell a story the way we were told it, or the way we found it.
Onto very recent history, you guys were headlining Knotfest recently.
Knotfest, we were not the headline. That was Slipknot, of course.
So,
but the day after at Hellfest.
So that was a surprise, okay? Because you were supposed to be, Manowar were supposed to be headlining, and you guys got invited. And then, of course, Joachim's voice failed him, and you stepped up. So, well done.
Thank you.
The reports we've seen online have been very positive. With
Scariest day of my life, or night, you would say. Scariest night of my life. Yeah.
How did the preceding 24 hours go?
Actually, we got to know that Joachim can't sing 20 minutes before showtime, and he told us, like, you guys have to sing. Like, what? I don't even know the lyrics. So they started printing all the lyrics, and Joachim was standing next to me like this with the lyrics. I can So yeah,
it was intense, and we were kind of informed about that there could be a potential after our show on the day before. So we had to tell our production to remain on site, and in the morning I was up at 8 o'clock in the morning and had a meeting with the promoter, who said that if you want to do the show, it's okay. And at this time I had no idea that Joachim was bad in his voice, so of course I said yes. And a few hours later he wakes up and he has no voice, but that didn't bother us because he's been bad in the voice many times before, and just before the show he starts to function. And we thought it's going to be the case, so even if people were like, oh, but your singer cannot sing, no problem, he's used to it. And then, as Chris said, 20 minutes before the show, panic breaks loose. Because then it's like, we can't cancel.
No, we can't.
We just, in 20 minutes we start playing, with or without Joachim.
An instrumental set, maybe.
That wouldn't be so fun. So we just solve it this way.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
well done.
So actually, it wasn't only me; it was Tommy as well, the other guitar player.
I think you got most of the credit for it online. And
I know. It's like, but we both did.
And I think that the people now, there have been some small rumors over the years that Sabaton is singing playback.
Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah.
I think they can leave that behind now.
We have one final question.
Yeah.
So you also played Wacken recently. It was you celebrated as your 20th anniversary show. You brought back some of your old members. How was that back playing?
That was so cool.
It was amazing. It was a very intense show for a lot of things, and so many things to think about when we're doing that. I mean, first of all, we didn't know, will it work? Will we be able to do it for two reasons? Technical and personal. I mean, can we stand on the same stage and still enjoy it? Because if we don't enjoy it, we shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it was essential that when we met for the first rehearsals, that it felt good. And it felt instantly great. And then to see how excited everybody was about it, how much effort everybody put into making this show great, that's what made it feel like, yes, we will not be able just to do it, but it will actually turn out to be really good. And it did.
There was one notable absence. Oscar wasn't there. Is that right? I was looking back at your previous members. Am I getting something wrong?
Yeah, you're right. Oscar was not there, and so was not Robban either. I mean,
Snowy Shaw.
And Snowy. There was a couple of people that didn't join in for this. Obviously, Oscar quit also Civil War and hasn't been in touch with anybody for a very long time.
Okay. So these things happen, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
Okay, I know we're getting asked to wrap up. Yeah, so on Wikipedia it says you guys formed in December '99, but you already held your 20th anniversary show. Which is the correct date?
No, it is actually it's the Lucia night. I don't know which date that is actually in Sweden.
It's like, I can't remember.
Was that your first show? Or
that was our first show in '99. So, but we did Wacken because it was Wacken, so we changed a little bit. It's okay. We can change a little bit in history.
Yeah,
sure. Just like everyone does.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Thank you very much. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to your show tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad we.